Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica. Today is launch day for our July House of the Month. So if you're new to my channel, every month I am releasing a seasonal quilt and cross stitch pattern. It is time for our July pattern. The patterns will always be releasing on the 15th of the month prior, so it's June 15th today. So I'm gonna start off with the cross stitch house. This one is so cute. Now it is very United States oriented and patriotic, so there actually is an alternate block that I designed for my non-US residents, just so that you have something else fun you can stitch for July. But this is what the pattern looks like. It's got this cute little house. I wanted to add some of those banners across there, and then I have a little flag quilt hanging off of the side. I've got a spinner down here and then some fun stars up in the sky. And because it was summer, I decided to do a cute little cherry tree or apple tree. So there's some little red dots in here. They can be cherries or apples, whatever you want. And I added into our bushes as well. And it has a cute little kind of barn door on the front. And then just like all the other ones, I have magnets on the back of here, and I put washers on the back of my cross stitch piece. And then that way I can swap this out every month, and I don't have to buy a different, have a bunch of these laying around my house. Here is the item number right here on the bottom in case you're interested. I did get this kind of at the beginning of last season, so I'm not sure if it's still available, but you can definitely check it out. So here is the finished piece all by itself. I did use 2 pieces of sticky board. So I've got one piece with this navy and white gingham. This is from my stash. I believe it was from a Bonnie Camille print, maybe from their Vintage Picnic line. It's been in my stash for a while, so I'm not sure, but navy gingham, super cute. And then I used a white rickrack. This is Cloud Rickrack by Lori Holt. I got it at Fat Quarter Shop to go around the outside. And then I just put my cross stitch piece on another one. The fabric that I used for this is called Witchell Beautiful Beige, and it's just a really nice neutral color. And then all of the floss that I used is DMC floss. And I'll go through and show you all of my floss. So my first one is just a plain white. Now I just used B5200 white. It's just a basic white. You can use any white that you want for this though. So if you can't find this one, just grab another white and you'll be fine. The blues that I used are 964 and 311 from DMC. This one is a sea green, and this one is like a navy blue. The red I used is a garnet red. It is number 816. The greens I used are avocado. It is 471, and then the green is 3346, and I believe it is called Hunter Green. And then I used 2 different browns. This lighter one is for the windows. This lighter one is 842, and then this darker one is what I used on the trees, and this is 434. And then for the roof, I used this color 844. It's called Beaver Gray Ultra Dark. And that's it. That's everything I used on this. All of the colors are, of course, always listed in the pattern. And I'll pop up a quick picture of the alternate block right here so that you can kind of see what that looks like. I just did a plain star. You can change these colors out to any colors that you want. So if you're not in the United States and you want to make it look a different way, you can. But I just put a basic star on that little flag hanging on the side of the house, and I figured you guys could kind of customize it to your area. And that's just included in the pattern. You don't have to purchase it separately or anything. The pattern just has both of the 2 different options in there for you. So you can choose which ones you want to stitch, or hey, you could stitch them both. And then this is a little bit off topic, but I thought you guys might like to see how I'm storing my floss now. So I purchased these little guys, and I'm sure you've all seen them. You can get them at most local craft stores, and I have wound all of my floss onto bobbins, and they're actually all color coded. Now I purchased a system from Tidy Stitch, and it is basically a little labeling system that you can use for your floss to keep it organized. And so here's kind of what it looks like, and you can see that I've got these little labels. The labels have the color family on them, and then they have the numbers of any of the DMC numbers that need to go by that. So DMC, when they made their colors, honestly, what I think happened is they released a set of colors that they thought were, a lot of colors, and then later they added to them, and so they couldn't keep putting numbers in between, right? So they had to just keep adding on. So now you've got greens over here, and you've got greens over here, and they're kind of everywhere. So as a designer, it's really hard to do it that way because you can't see all your greens at once, and so Tidy Stitch has a color family system, which I love, and so that's what I've done. And so I actually have 3 of these bins. This is obviously my pinks and blues, and I guess there's some leftover yellows in there. Here's my first one. It starts out with all of the whites and grays and neutrals and moves into peaches and yellows. And then here's my last one. It's just my overflow of my greens. And so I have some room to grow. But the good thing about that is it makes it really easy for me to pick colors so I can see all of my colors at once. She also has it available in family, in the number order, the DMC number order. So I think my opinion on this, and you can, of course, do whatever's best for you. But if you're designing patterns, the color families work great because you've got all your yellows together, all your greens together, all your blues together. If you are stitching a pattern that someone else has designed, I think it's probably easier to have them in number order because that pattern is going to say you need this, 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 and this, and then you can just quickly go to your stash and pull out those numbers. So I think it's really nice that there's two different systems depending on how you work. And you might also like to take other people's patterns and do your own colors, so maybe the color family one would work better for you. But either way, it's a really nice, handy little system, and I will link her website below. She's not sponsoring me or anything. I just wanted to share that with you because as we've been doing all of these, I've been gathering more and more floss, and I was finding that I was duplicating my floss, or I didn't know if I didn't have a color because it was all just kind of sort of in a mess. I was trying to keep it organized, but it wasn't working very well. So I just wanted to share that with you. And then I am keeping it in one of my craft to go cases. This is what it looks like on the inside. I've got my floss in these little vinyl pouches over here, and then I've got my actual stitching over here. That's a little bit of a sneak peek, so I don't want to show you too much. And then I keep a little mini design board in here that keeps my used floss just stuck on there, and so it's really handy. I can just pop it in and out of here, and then I don't have my used bits of floss going everywhere. So thought that would be cute to share as well. Super handy, and this is a free tutorial here on YouTube. All right, that's a little mini floss organization and how I cross stitch segment for you. Let me know if you'd like to see something a little bit more cohesive where I show you how I pick out my colors, how I get my bag set up and ready to go, and just like a preparation video, and I can share more about my floss storage system as well. So leave that in the comments below if you want to hear more about that. But let's go ahead and take a look at the July Quilty house. Okay, I say this every month, but this might be one of my favorite houses. And I think it's because every time I make one, I get really excited about it. And so it is my favorite house for that. But this one is adorable, and I wish I could leave it up all year long. So here is the July Quilty house. We've got a cute little sawtooth star above our door with some adorable curtains. And then on the side of the house here, I wanted to do a flag. I was trying to make it not quite so American-y because I know I do have some non-US people that do these. So you could maybe change the colors of those, like change the color of the star tips or color of the stripes and make it a little bit more unique to your area. So I thought that would be really fun. And then here is the July words on the bottom. And for this one, I dove deep into my stash for this one, guys. This is Bonnie and Camille. I think most of these prints are from their, I think it's their vintage picnic line and some day sale. And if any of you guys have been following Bonnie and Camille for a while, you know that those lines were put out quite a few years ago. So I did dig deep, but I wanted to get rid of some of my stash. That's kind of the purpose of these cute little houses, is to be able to use some of our stash up because you don't need a whole lot of fabric for these. I usually recommend about a half a yard of background fabric. The rest of almost everything you can kind of do with fat eighths. Sometimes you need a little bit more, but for the most part, you could use your stash for these. So that was my goal on this one. But here it is, super cute. And then for my quilting, I did stars and swirls. This is what I've been doing on all of my patriotic type things lately because two reasons. One, it's super fun to do. I just freehand this on my machine, and you can do it on a smaller machine, or I did put this on my long arm. So if you're afraid of free motion quilting, I highly recommend giving it a try. It's so much fun. And if you don't want to ruin, your finished beautiful quilt top, do some practice pieces. So I took a class and we just made 12, I didn't even need that many honestly, but 12 quilt sandwiches, and I made them like 12 by 12, and I just cut a backing, a batting, and a front piece, basted them together. I spray basted, but you can pin base. And then that gave me the freedom to work within a smaller area and try new things without feeling like I was going to be ruining something. It was like permission to just go have fun. And so I tried all kinds of different designs. I did all kinds of practicing. Some I realized I didn't like, some I loved. And that's how I sort of got my courage up to be able to free motion quilt something that I made. So it's a lot of fun. I free motion quilted all of my quilts, including my big ones on my my little Juki TL2000 that you see in all my videos, so you can do it on your home sewing machine. And then of course later on I did purchase a long arm. It's kind of a used, put together long arm. I have a whole video here on YouTube. You can go check that out, but it's a lot of fun. So I highly encourage you, especially on these smaller pieces, you can really have a lot of fun on these and not be so afraid of it being such a huge project that it's not as intimidating because it's smaller. So highly recommend giving it a try. On the back side, I used, again, some fabric from my stash. I didn't have enough, so I ended up seaming it together on the back here, so I'm sure you can all see that seam. And then, of course, I added a cute little label. These labels I just ordered off of an Etsy shop. These are from Ever Emblem. Here's her card if you are interested, everemblem.com. And she's got all kinds of different ones to choose from. You can get them personalized. And then they do come with a backing on them, so you could fuse them onto fabric if you wanted. I pulled my backing off, just folded it in half, and then added it into my binding. And so these are, you know, you can get them a couple different ways. She makes them flat if you don't want them to be folded. I thought I would probably want to put them into my binding, so I got the foldable kind, but she has lots of different options on her website. So definitely check that out, but I thought the stars on the back would be so much fun. And then the only other fabric, let's see, oh, my backing is my standard Moda Bella 9997. That's that creamy white that you see there. The other fabric that I used was the low volume on the windows, and then I also used it on those flag stripes as well. That is from Fig Tree Fruit Cocktail line, and I just thought it'd be fun to put a little low volume in there. The pattern itself just calls for white for all of these areas, but you can do whatever you want. You could even, I was thinking it might be even kind of cute to change this out to white and put these little points as like a color. So have fun with these when you're making them. And don't forget, if you're sewing along with us, make sure to share your progress on Instagram or Facebook using the hashtag July Quilty House. You could do hashtag July Stitchy House, and then I can see what you guys are making. You can also tag me as well. I do my best to follow those hashtags, but sometimes I miss things. So, and if you do share with me, I would love it. I can share it on mine and let other people see and get some ideas. I also have a Sew With Me Facebook group, which I originally meant for just our Sew With Me blocks. But I think people have been putting in their house blocks as well, which I think is totally fine. Maybe I should create another group. Let me know in the comments if you think we should have two separate groups, one for the houses and one for the Sew With Me. It's hard for me to maintain too many groups, but sometimes people want to just go in and see what other people are doing for their houses. So, but in the meantime, if you want to share, you can definitely share in that group. We're all just a bunch of fun sewing friends and no judging. Everybody's super encouraging in there, and it's a lot of fun. So that's going to be it for today's video. That is the July Quilty and Stitchy House of the Month. You can get both patterns in my shop at store.confessionsofahomeschooler.com. If you just search for July House, when you get there, you should be able to find both of them. They're currently available in PDF format. When I am done releasing all the houses, I will bundle them up into a printable booklet that we will ship out to you guys. So if you want to wait for them, you can do that. So that is going to be it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. They come in, they come with a backing on them, so they are iron-onable. What do you want to say? Fusible. They're heat. You can iron them on with your iron. Oh my gosh. What are they? What's it called? Fusible? Did I forget anything? No. Okay, we're good. We're good. Thanks. New camera, by the way. I gotta work on the colors.